Let me have a seat here. Here, wait, look and see. Look like, be professional. All right. How do I look? Right here?
Yeah.
Can you see me in there? Or do we need to back it up a little more?
No, it's good.
All right, let's rock it. All right, buddy. Yes. Okay. First of all, we're gonna multitask.
Dan's phoning in on our Not So podcast.
Dan,
What do you Turboville?
Oh, I love Dan.
We are
on speakerphone.
We are literally recording a episode right now. What do you got?
So the question that I put in that group text, I'm going to read it so that we have it verbatim here.
Put it up to you,
Mike. What would you start today if you knew you couldn't fail? So that actually comes from a question that my brother asked me that was a quote out of the Maxwell book that's a part of your mastermind.
Yeah, our mastermind.
Yeah.
Yours too.
Okay, our mastermind. So it was a quote from that book, and I just reworded it a little bit. I didn't realize it was a quote from the book at the time, but that's where it came from.
So what would you start today if you knew you couldn't fail?
Right.
Yeah.
So here's my struggle. And the reason I called you is because I genuinely don't know a thing that I'm afraid to start because I'm afraid it's going to fail. Now, I certainly have a fear of failure, but my fear of failure is more after the thing is built, right? So I just told my brother, I was like, man, sometimes I wake up in the night and I have that dream where I'm like falling off of a tower, falling off of a building or whatever. And to me, that dream is representative of me having built a thing and then failing.
Right? Oh, so failing after something successful.
Right.
Got it. So what's your question?
Yeah.
What would you start today?
No. I know what his question, but why'd you call me?
The question that I have is there a way for me to figure out if that's real or not? Like, do you know some exercise or like some thought process or something for me to figure out, am I really afraid of starting something or not?
That's deep, man.
That is deep. That's a great question. Yeah. By the way, Dan, I love that. So
can you hear Matt?
Is there a way
here?
Is there a way to test this theory? Well, first of all, I think you've already tested the theory that you can have success. Do you remember when you first started your software and you and I were on a podcast together, and I told you it is such a grind. Like everybody thinks, and you and I, when we build it, we think, oh, this is going to be easy. I'm going to stand this up. I'm going to have 1,000 customers tomorrow. But it doesn't work that way, does it?
It does not at all.
And do you remember?
You told me.
Yeah, go ahead.
You told me 5 years to even get going.
Yeah. What year are you in, by the way?
So I just went to FinStech number 4. So I'm getting close to number 5.
So I think wisdom is the test that of what you can and can't do. So I have finally figured out that, and now I don't think it's a fear, but I don't want to be in the restaurant business or the bar business. I don't want to do it. I want to be, right. And I've figured out that there's some business models out there that I just don't like. I don't want to, like Robert and I were talking yesterday about landscaping. And he says, how come you don't do landscaping? It just doesn't excite me. So I think let's reword, or let's think about our question a little bit different. What can I start today that I would be just as passionate about that I am in what I'm currently doing? Take out the word fear, because I think that's what makes you and Robert different, is that we're motivated by the thrill of the hunt, but you have to enjoy what you're hunting for.
Yeah,
I don't care to go bull constrictor hunting or alligator hunting, but I sure would like to go muley or whitetail hunting up in Montana.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, no, I like that, and I 100% agree. There's things that I'm just not interested in doing. And so I like that. What's the thing that you would be passionate about,
Well,
right? That we could start today.
Yeah, and maybe that's it. Starting something and remaining passionate. I think that's the critical part, because that's really what failure looks like: is you get burnt out or lose interest. Because when you don't pour your soul into it, somebody gets a low standard of excellence. But here's when you read that quote, and I think this could just give you something to sit on, or when you read that prompt, the first thing I thought of is I'm extremely passionate about helping young kids become leaders for themselves. But what I'm fearful of is exactly what you are fearful of: is everything I've built today, I might lose. Because what you focus on is what you expand on. So I'm actually not fearful of failure on starting something for these kids. I'm fearful that I might lose everything else that I've created along the way. So I didn't read that as failure on what I was going to do. I was actually very aligned with what you said, which was after something's built, losing it.
Yeah, and it's funny too, Dan. It's funny how we don't. Once we do this long enough, we don't. They need to come up with a different word, because fear is not what we're facing, right? We know we're going to fail. Matter of fact, sometimes we need to almost encourage failure in order to grow and learn, which is so counterproductive. Especially, we're at the size now where I've got a lot of people around me that I just got to let them go. I got to let them do their thing and keep my mouth shut, because they have to learn by doing. Do a little. What did our friend
Learn
Chris
a little,
Robbins?
do a little.
Learn a little bit, do a little bit. Learn a little bit, do a little bit. If you're always learning or always doing, you're not really moving. That's good stuff, man. Golly, Dan, I love that. Too bad. Hey, by the way, why don't you hop on the private jet, the
PJ.
the private purple jet, and just bring it out here to Salt Lake and join us.
Yeah, just send the jet over. I'll be on the way.
Okay. I love it.
Hey, Dan, does that give you at least something more to think about? Because I love the idea of like starting something and the fear of not having soul or passion. But then I also love the idea of maybe it is aligned with what you're talking about, where you end up losing what you've already had because you redirect your focus.
So it does two things for me. One, it reminds me that one of my biggest fears is complacency.
Okay.
And me becoming complacent and everyone else around me suffering because of it. And two, it just kind of lets me know that I'm not broken, right? Because I saw all these responses start coming in this group text, and I was like, oh no, all these people have answers and I don't have one. And so that's really what prompted the phone call. Was I didn't know the answer. I put it in the group text. Other people had answers, and I'm like, oh gosh, am I broken?
No, actually, I don't think you've been. I don't think you've been broken enough. You've probably been a little bit too complacent. I think we should stretch you like a rubber band this year, brother.
Yeah.
I don't think. I think you've been playing it too safe, and you didn't even know it.
Yeah. We did that last year, Dan. We stretched ourselves. I was telling Robert, we invested in a large foundation. So one thing I'm realizing that as you grow your businesses, it's that first business you stand up, and even that second, maybe third one, you can stand them up and kind of get going on a shoestring budget. You can do it. But once you start really expanding, then you have to go back and say, okay, in order for us to keep building businesses, we have to have a bigger foundation to put these up on. Meaning you have to have more backing. You have to invest in maybe some property that you have equity in. You have to buy a piece of property that might be zoned as ag and get it rezoned into light industrial and put a building on it, so it goes from $10,000 an acre to $150,000 an acre, so you can have that asset or that value in there, so you can actually take in more money, so you don't have to use an outside source like a private equity or something like that. So last year I spent the entire year building a foundation. Foundations are hard to build, by the way. That was the roughest year. Man, and I would love to do a deep dive with this sometime in a coaching event.
And we were just talking about how out of money both of us are.
We're completely out of cash because we're building.
Dan, because our podcast, Not So Podcasts, are only supposed to be 12 minutes, so you got 2 more minutes. And we are recording, by the way. Like,
yeah, we're live, baby.
Literally, legit. This is going to be cool.
Hey, we need to snap Dan trivia, like put him right here so he's sitting with
Brad
us.
could do it. Let's not tell Brad to screw off until we get
everything we want out of him.
Yeah,
let's totally abuse it. That's Brad. Good culture.
Hey, Dan, there's.
I figured it was going to be recorded when you told me. You gave me the disclaimer at the beginning.
Yeah,
so that's cool.
Hey, but there's one thing that I think that there's a reason why you're not at 100 million, 150 million. Remember, you told me you wanted to go to 50, 100, 200 million. So there's something that's holding you back there. There's some fear there, and call it fear, passion. I don't know, whatever you want to call the word, but there's something that's holding you back. And you know, the reason I'm going to 15 million is because I want to go serve kids. I want to build such a big business that my absence won't disrupt the business, you know? So
man, I'll tell you something real quick.
Yeah.
I went through this thing the other day, and so I was thinking about goals, right? Like your event, there was a lot of talk about goals. Tony Thornton talks a lot about goals, and I've never been a goal guy, to be honest with you. And so I went through this thing the other day, and I was like, all right, let me spend some time to think about goals. And so I was talking to ChatGPT, and one of them was a sales goal, right? And I was like, all right, if I set a $10 million sales goal, and I said another piece of that goal that I want tied to it is, I don't even know the word, philanthropy, right? Whatever that is, if that's giving away money, time, other resources, whatever. Like I want to put a dollar value that's my goal on there. And I said, okay, if I do 10 million in sales, can I give away $150,000 that year? And like, man, it was disappointing to me. And I was like, no, that's crap. Like I want to do 100 million in sales, and I want to give away 15 million. Right? Like I don't want it. And so, yeah, I feel you, right? It's like, that's a large part of the motivation.
That's a whole nother.
So I want to do more.
Giving the money away is a whole nother thing. So right now, Dan, we're talking about doing a foundation, because in order for you to give away money properly, you really need to move it out of a foundation. So that could be another thing. Let's put that down on the list to talk about sometime.
Yeah, Dan,
we're forming it right now.
Dan, and I think I heard you right, but it's not that when we make 10 million, we'll give away 150. Give away the 150 first, and then you'll make it. You'll find a way to figure it out.
So commit to give it away, and then figure out how to.
Don't commit. Just do it. Just give it away. Yeah. Just give it away. I mean,
the hard part is
be smart about it.
Yeah. The hard part is so I got caught one time. I donated $25,000, and next thing I knew, and I had the money even, and by the time they took it, I had used the money in the company, and then I had to go borrow the money to give away, which, by the way, is not a good plan or good tactic. So you got to be a little bit careful, but you have to mentally say, you know what, we're going to make this move and do this move, and then tell your circle, your closest circle, hey, this is our goal. Our goal is to help fund this. I'm way better about giving money away now than I ever used to be.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Dan, hopefully that gives you something to chew on. And if I know you well enough, text me later and we'll have another one. I love it.
All right, man.
All right, brother. Good question this morning. That's what I'm talking about, the circles. So I was reading that book this morning, and I was like, how am I intentionally growing? And the first answer that I wrote down was, my circle is intentional. I'm growing because my circle is helping me grow. And that question this morning was perfect, dude. You're a rock star.
Thanks, Dan.
That's awesome, man.
See you, buddy.
Thank you.
Bye. That worked out great.
Yeah.